Hi everyone, welcome back to another Whispers Through the Jump Point, where I have a look at my picks for the most interesting news from Cloud Imperium Games and the Star Citizen universe over the past week or so. Also, I may well get some other game footage in there as well, you never know. First up, it's a free fly week for the Merlin. So it's a lovely little ship, and you can also pick one up from the pledge store for $20, and why not try it for a week for free. Now, out in sunny California, Ben Lesnick was presenting Around the Verse by himself because Sandy Gardner is on a secret mission. Well, I think among some of the things she may well be doing is checking out the venue for CitizenCon up in Manchester, for those lucky enough to attend. So, out in sunny California, Ben Lesnick had to present Around the Verse by himself, but he was extremely infused and excited by how Gamescom went.
The Star Citizen Gamescom event was a huge success. Here at Cloud Imperium, we could not be happier with how it went. You saw 3 live demos, all sorts of other announcements, and we got to meet just the most fantastic backers in the world. We were so excited to be able to go to Germany. The entire team is electrified right now, and we hope you guys were pleased with what you saw. Star Citizen truly is coming together, and I think we demonstrated it pretty well this week.
In Around the Verse, Eric Kieran Davis and Darian Vorlek talked about what CIG in Los Angeles would be doing following Gamescom.
All right, so we are back from Gamescom. It was intense and fun, and we got a lot of really great work done. So this week is cleanup for Gamescom. We're taking all the stuff we did for Gamescom and we're trying to rebuild it back into one of our streams. On top of that, on the ship side, we're working on Vanguard variants. We're still working on the Drake Herald. We've got a lot of work we're doing this week. It's pretty busy.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to keep the momentum up. We built up a good cadence globally, well, not just globally, but within the LA office as well. So we're kind of trying to keep that energy focused. Post Gamescom, we're obviously gearing towards Arena Commander 2.0, as Chris announced at the end of the Gamescom demo. We have a few patches in between that we want to release some more tech here and there. One of the things we're working on is the Ghost system that we've talked about in the past, the game object state machine, as well as fleshing out and perfecting the multi-crew technology in anticipation for 2.0. So it's still a long road ahead of us, but we got a lot of the large milestones out of the way, so we hope you guys enjoyed it. It was pretty intense over here watching on TV.
Yeah, I know we enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
I don't think I've ever sweat so much for a demo in my life.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. All right, anyway, that's it for us here in Santa Monica. Thanks for checking in. Again, I'm Eric Kieran Davis, and this is...
Darian Vorlek.
All right, see you later.
Now, taking the place of Lisa Ohanian in her ship shape section, Darian Vorlek stepped in and he wanted to talk some technical stuff on the Ghost system.
Come closer.
Ghost stands for Game Object State Machine. It's a new technology that we've been developing. So with Ghost, everything is organized into what we call states. And these are then bunched again into groups called state groups, kind of commonsensical naming there. What each of these does, it determines what the state of a specific aspect of a ship is. For example, with a landing gear. A landing gear may have 3 states, retracted, deploying, and deployed. What that allows us to do is allows the designers to set parameters as far as how the ship will recognize what state the landing gear is in when you press a specific button. So for example, if I press a button that deploys the landing gear, Ghost will recognize that the landing gear is now deploying. Therefore, if you hit the button again, it will not interrupt that functionality. Therefore, hitting it repeatedly won't keep deploying, retracting over and over again before it's finished that specific state. Another one is, let's say you have a locked door on your spaceship. It could be locked, unlocked. So walking up to the door, it will scan to see if you have a specific key to open that door. If it recognizes that you do have a matching key type, it will change the system to unlocked. If you don't have a matching key type, for example, Attempting to open the door will result in the door not being unlocked, and if the attempts are too high, it may end up resulting in the door switching to a broken state. So this allows us to be able to play with it. For example, someone tries to break into your ship. If they don't have a high enough skill to unlock it, or if they don't have a magic key, it could end up breaking the door. These are not features we're looking at, but it's just somehow how this system can work. For those familiar with CryEngine, this Ghost system is completely done through flow graph. So again, what this does is allows our designers a lot of flexibility on how they want to design certain functionality of the ship, how certain things react to certain situations. You may have seen some of it during the Gamescom demo. For example, when one of the red team turned on the power of the Retaliator derelict that they found, you notice that a lot of the gas started venting, lights started blinking. These are certain things that we can affect with Ghost. Another good example of this would be if you're flying a ship and your ship suddenly takes 75% damage, that once it recognizes that it's at 75%, it can start switching to warning lights. Once it reaches a critical level, such as maybe 25% or 10%, whatever we decide to set it at, then you'll start getting critical warnings as far as you must eject. Sparks will start flying, red sirens will start going off. So these are all things that were previously hard-coded into the system. By removing that code and letting it be completely XML driven, not only does it make it a little more seamless and streamlined, it makes it less processor intensive as well. Adding Ghost is something that we're still working on. We got to see a little bit of it, like I said, at the Gamescom demo. So hopefully we'll start to see more of it implemented as we develop more ships and progress towards Arena Commander 2.0. So thank you for joining me on this week's Ship Shape. Lisa will be back next week, and hopefully you enjoy this little bit of technical information.
So some interesting information there about the Ghost system. Now, in Reverse to Verse, there was an interesting question regarding open development by SciTech for the Star Citizen, HOTAS and associated peripherals.
You talked about open development for the SciTech HOTAS. What does that mean compared to our version of open development?
Well, we're going to find out. What they have told us is they're interested in sharing the whole process. We're already gathering feedback from our community for them, and they want to share it. They're going to show where they are at each stage of the way. But we'll see how it develops. I mean, my hope is that this is the first time kind of the CIG germ has infected another host. We'll see how it goes.
I saw another question earlier regarding the HOTAS, which is about the touchscreen that was on one of the versions.
Yes.
Can you guys elaborate a little more on what the functionality of that is?
So it would essentially be part of your cockpit interface. If you've ever seen the like the VDU or HUD add-ons that some companies do, where that time with like Microsoft Flight Simulator, so I plug like my navigation screen or my map screen or whatever, and it'll display separately from the game. It'll be the same for Star Citizen, so part of your ship control panel would appear right there on the touch screen, and you'd Star Citizen it up.
Will we be able to taunt enemies in the PU?
Yes, that's a huge aspect of any Chris Roberts game is taunting people.
It's a requirement.
And also working for Chris Roberts.
I try not to taunt people, but I think my existence annoys some.
I think pretty much the original Wing Commander invented taunting in games.
Well, that little bit of information regarding taunting in games certainly brings back memories of Wing Commander and those lovable, well, not so lovable, big cats, the Karafi. Pathetic descendant of monkey! Well, that's a taunt I'll never forget. Now, I wonder, the Vandal, what will they taunt like? What will they sound like? We know they're going to have their own language, but obviously they're going to taunt in, well, human languages. I guess, wonder what they would sound like in English. Human scum! We will wipe your race out of the galaxy! Well, that's my version of a Vandal taunt, but give it a try yourself. See what your Vandal sounds like. Well, to view the entire Reverse to Verse shows and Around the Verse, please follow the links in the description and in the video, and also check out the other videos on the RSI YouTube channel or on the RSI website. Well, thank you very much for watching, and hope you enjoyed the episode, and please don't forget to like, which helps me a lot, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing, because although I do this channel purely for fun, when the subscriber count goes up a bit, it makes me feel pretty happy. And to everyone who has subscribed, thanks very much, it's really appreciated. Anyway, wherever you're watching out in that big universe, you take care, and I'll see you again very soon. And remember, you never know what's going to come through that jump point.